so much.
So we'll start with you, Valentine. The key highlights of the full-year results of the year 2018 for the group do actually come across as impressive. I see PAT up to 20.6 billion naira. That's a 94% growth when you compare with the previous year. And then the gross earnings up 30%, supported largely, I hear, by Transcorp power.
Yes.
Now, away from the highlights, which are impressive, as I said, speak to us on areas that you think are needing for improvement.
Well, I'm quite grateful that we've been able to turn out these excellent numbers, not just in some, but almost the entire indices, and we've well captured it. Last year, the power business did exceptionally well, especially because of the improvement we've had in the gas supply in the Niger Delta. So the stability of that, consistency of that, and the growth of that drove our performance in that regard. Similarly, Owen is going to speak on the hotel business. He's also done extremely well. And for us, it's going to be a pursuit of the same strategy of growth and efficiency. Efficiency, look at the costs and make sure we trim it further. And hopefully by 2019, we're able to achieve a much improved result. And for us, again, to look at what other businesses we need to get into, what are in the areas we're already in, and we're also exploring which other new businesses to get into. And
so we're looking at expansion. We'll come to that.
Precisely.
Let's go to Owen. Let's just talk through the key drivers of the earnings that we saw from Transcorp Hotels.
Okay, thank you very much, Christine. So as you know, Transcorp Hotels, in particular the flagship property, Transcorp Hilton Abuja, have been undergoing a renovation for the past 3 odd years. And very happy to inform that.
Odd years. I like that you highlighted that.
Very happy to inform that as of end of last year, we completed a renovation of all the rooms. And that, of course, with newly renovated rooms, improved service. Service is always our watchword, but we just keep on improving, improving, improving. And these are things that have driven us. And, of course, we remain the preferred destination, the preferred host for international travelers. And we'll keep pushing Nigeria's objective of being a tourist destination. And these are the things that have driven our success in the last year, as well as a strong focus on operational efficiency, underpinned by service excellence always.
Massive facility, no doubt, but it's good to know that you're not slacking on maintenance, and we will hold you accountable to that.
Please do.
So, Valentine's, I'm looking at the OPEX, the operating environment results now, going back to your figures, year-on-year growth, 30.9%. Speak to us on the operating environment for your business in the year 2018. What was it like?
It's been rough and challenging, I must say. For us, we saw an environment that witnessed a lot of cost increases, especially for us that had to embark on massive upgrade of our facilities, not just the hotel business, but also our turbines. We are pushing the agenda in terms of moving our capacity installed and also the available capacity for our power business. And that requires us to spend a lot of money to get us up and operational. And of course, when you look at the cost of doing business generally, cost of power, cost of fuel, cost of every other thing, with the inflationary trend that we witnessed last year, happy to see that it's tapering down. And also even the cost of funding has also been on the uprise. But luckily yesterday, the MPCs come down by 50 basis points, and we want to see that this is reflected.
How do you reckon how will affect investments?
Well, it's actually going to help basically catalyze a lot more, because you see more real sector borrowing happening, because with that you see more growth in the economy.
Oh, and I'm looking at the notice of the annual general meeting held recently.
Yes.
And I see some of your agenda, change in the use of bond proceeds, and you did do some talk about recent changes at the board. Give us a feel of that.
Okay. So change in proceeds, IPO proceeds actually. So initially when we had gone to the market, the thought was to go into some expansion and at the time. But as we looked at it, where the market was at the time, and then with the currency fluctuation, it was more business sensible to channel the funds towards the upgrade of the Transcorp Hilton Abuja, which is Nigerian's flagship hospitality body in the country. So that was what that was about, and the shareholders approved that decision because it was in the best interest of everyone involved. And as a strong company that is focused on corporate governance, we went back to our shareholders and said, this is what we're doing, please approve it. And of course, they approved it. And on the board, yes, we've had some changes. I am one of the changes on the board.
Of course.
The major change on the board.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We had some changes during the course of the year as well. The chairman of Transcorp Hotels retired, and we got in a new chairman in person of Mr. Emmanuel Unorom. who had also been on the board and is also on the board of the parent company, Transnational Corporation of Nigeria. We also had some changes on that board, so I think Val should also talk about the changes on the Transnational Corporation board.
Give us a feel of that.
It's been also strengthening and improving corporate governance across board.
And you're one of the changes as well.
One of the changes. And,
I had to highlight that.
Yes, and we also had two amazing ladies join our board. Ms. Ozigbo, who is a veteran, in board affairs and management affairs at a very senior level. She's worked in a number of financial institutions. And then also Mrs. Toyin Sani, who is, I think, CNBC has celebrated her well enough.
So you spoke about...
Before you go further, I want to add more to what Owen has said. When we started this upgrade of the hotel, the budget was for $100 million. The equivalent of that could easily have been 16 to 19 billion. But as we started off, the changes that happened, it became well over 40 billion. So it only made sense that we should focus on the upgrade and get it finished than spread our hands into many other things. So that's why the change of proceed happened.
Okay. So Valentine, earlier you spoke about the ups and downs of doing business in the year 2018. Yes. And earlier, I recall, we also spoke about the gross earnings for Transcorp Group going up by 30%, supported largely by Transcorp Power. So help me understand, and I said this to you before the interview started. We know that the power sector in Nigeria is riddled with a lot of debt. And we also know that Transcorp Power is owed to the tune of about 90 billion naira, that's $250 million. Is that it?
Yes.
So what is the investment attraction that I'm hearing about, bidding for AFAM?
Let me tell you this. We come from that founding philosophy, which is we've got to be that company that will help to catalyze transformation in Nigeria. So we invest for the long term. We invest for the impact. We're here to transform Nigeria. Power is number one. Yes. There's nothing else can compare with power. And so when we see these challenges across the value chain, from gas to collection, GENCO issues to DISCO issues, and just today there's a public hearing going on the transmission issues. Now, the point is we have to lead that change.
We hear this from time to time from interested investors in power in Nigeria. Yeah. And then fast forward weeks after, we see them backtracking and saying we want our money back. We've seen that play out before. We saw that a lot in the previous year. If
you got into the business unprepared, we are into the business fully prepared. We are not just, we didn't spend money to acquire, we spent money to upgrade, and we're going to keep spending. You just see statements that our group chairman has made, Mr. Tony Lemelu.
He's admitted you will be spending a lot to upgrade the AFAM GENCO.
Now, so that's the point here. For us, we actually are hoping to get to where we can power 1 out of every 4 Nigerians. That's where we're headed.
That's the projection.
Yes.
Now, in line with projection, what should we expect from Transcorp Group in the year 2019? What's the way forward?
You're going to see the same trend of growth and efficiency. This is the same kind of returns we've posted, and our shareholders are going to be much happier. At the AGM, they said they wanted more dividend. Hopefully, we're going to give them more dividend.
I see you nodding in agreement.
Oh,
that's
yes,
what to look out for from hotels also.
Thank you. Of course, we'll continue with our service. When you come to Transcorp Hilton, Transcorp Hotels Calabar, you will be assured of good service.
And we're done with the renovation. 3 odd years.
3 odd years.
Thank you very much. Valentine Ozigbo is the president and CEO of Transcorp, and Owen Omogiafo is the CEO of Transcorp Hotels.